Planning your first big US trip can feel like trying to solve a giant puzzle with missing pieces. How do you pick where to go? When to book? How much to budget? I get it. I've been there, staring at 30 browser tabs, wondering if I just made a $500 mistake. But here's the good news. There's a clear way to go from zero to fully booked without losing your mind or your money. If you've ever searched how to plan a trip to the US, you know how overwhelming it is. 12 million results. And somehow none of them answer the actual question you're asking. That's why I created this. A step-by-step breakdown of exactly how to plan a trip to the US without the confusion. Not vague lists or generic advice, just what works in the right order. Let's start with what no one talks about, the anxiety. You Google how to plan a trip to the US and you're hit with blogs, booking sites, Reddit threads. It's too much, and your brain goes into panic mode. What if I pick the wrong cities? What if I spend too much on the wrong flights? What if I forget something important? So here's your first mindset shift. You don't need to plan everything at once. You just need the right order. And that's the key to how to plan a trip to the US without burnout. We're going to walk through a timeline that breaks it into clear, simple chunks, so that no matter where you're starting, you'll know what comes next. By the end of this, you'll finally feel like you understand how to plan a trip to the US the right way. 3 to 6 months before, set the budget. Plus, pick the destination. 2 to 3 months before, book flights plus accommodation. 1 month out, build the daily plan. Final week, pack plus prep tools. Each stage has one focus. Stick to that, and the overwhelm disappears. Let's talk numbers. For most budget travelers, this is your baseline. $100 to $200 per day if you're flying and staying in cities. $60 to $100 per day if you stay in smaller cities or use buses. But don't guess. Here's how to build a real plan. Use Rome to Rio to check travel routes and prices. Use Hopper or Google Flights to track airfare fluctuations. Use budgetyourtrip.com for daily cost estimates by city. Planning a 7-day trip to Chicago? Budget might look like $250 flight, $500 hotel, $210 food, $100 local transport plus activities. Total, $1,060. Now you know what you're aiming for. Here's where people freeze. You have so many choices, so let's narrow it down fast. Pick your vibe. Do you want nature, cities, food, culture, or all four? Look at shoulder season travel, spring, fall, to save money. Use Google cheap US cities to visit lists and watch my other videos on the top destinations. Don't make this mistake. Picking 5 cities for a 7-day trip. Do this instead. Choose 1 to 2 main cities with easy connections. Use Rome to Rio or Amtrak to see what's nearby. I once tried to hit 4 cities in 9 days. I spent more time in airports than on the actual trip. This is where your trip gets real. Flights. Use Hopper, Skyscanner, or Google Flights. Set alerts for price drops. Look at flexible airports. Fly into Oakland instead of SFO, for example. Hotels. Use Booking.com or Hotwire. Look at guest ratings, not just stars. Filter by walkability plus transit access. Big tip, book with free cancellation. If prices drop later, rebook cheaper. Don't overplan, but don't wing it either. Here's the system. Use Google Maps. Saved places to pin spots. Food, views, landmarks. Build 2 to 3 anchor points per day, then fill in gaps. Leave time open every afternoon. Trust me, you'll need it. Example, morning, museum. Midday, local lunch. Afternoon, free walking tour. Evening, relax, sunset spot, or market. I used to plan 8 things a day. I ended up skipping half and feeling guilty. Now I plan half days and enjoy more. This is where people panic. But if you followed the plan, this part's easy. Checklist. Download offline maps in Google Maps. Print or screenshot all confirmations. Pack 1 day of backup clothes in your carry-on. Download these apps. Transit, local transport. Trail Wallet or Travel Spend for tracking budget. Hotel tonight, just in case. Planning your first big US trip doesn't have to be stressful. If you follow this timeline, You'll go from overwhelmed to totally in control, one step at a time. Start with the budget. Pick the place. Let the tools do the heavy lifting. And remember, planning is part of the fun, not something to dread. Smarter trips, smoother travel, that's the route to anywhere.